Hi everyone, it's me again, and today I'm going to be answering some very cool questions from my mom. Is a teacher, and her class has been collecting questions, I guess, about what I've been doing, and I'm going to answer some of them today. I'm going to do a little, well, before I get into that, I am in Nashville, Tennessee. And right now I'm kind of in this big parking lot next to this mall over here, but just over there is the Grand Ole Opry House, and then right across the way is the Opryland Hotel, I believe is what it's called, Gaylord Opryland Hotel. And then there's this big mall right here behind it. It's been kind of rainy today, so I have been trying to find some things to do inside, so I just walked around this big mall. So one of the things that happened before I went on this trip is my mom came up with this really cool idea of, she made me this little flat Stanley is what they're called, but it's a cutout picture. You can cut them out of, make a picture out of anything. But what you do is you go to a destination or a landmark or a monument and you take a picture with this in front of it. And for the past 2 months I have been doing that with the different places that I have been going. Then I send her the pictures and then she prints them out and she puts them on a big map that's in her classroom so the kids can kind of follow along with where I'm at. But today I'm going to be answering some questions that you all have had, and I have written down 5. I know that you had given me quite a few, but I picked out 5 just for the sake of keeping this video relatively short because I have a bad habit of talking and talking and talking. I don't know who submitted each individual question, so it's just anonymous. So for each question, I'm just going to read it out and then I'm going to answer it to the best of my ability. Okay, so everyone probably wants to know the first question that everybody wants answered, but I'm going to answer that one last because I'm going to make you all wait and finish the whole video. So, the first question is, what do I like to read and what is my favorite book? Or do I like to read while I'm on the road? So to answer that question, I am not a big reader. I never really have been. I did have a good collection of books before I moved and before I started this trip. I donated a lot of them because I just hadn't read them in a while, or I had already read them and felt it was time to let them go. So I don't really read as much as I probably should. I think once I get out west and my service for my phone, decreases, I'm probably going to need something to do in my spare time. I do have books with me. Mainly they are travel type books. There's a couple little specific themed books. But for the most part, I'll probably start diving into them once I don't have service anymore on my phone. Question number 2, and this is a really good question. What has been my favorite animal so far? That's a really good question because I've seen quite a few different types of animals. No matter where I go, I always see a squirrel. They are just, they're everywhere. Birds have been really incredible, especially when I was in Florida and Georgia and southern Alabama. The birds there are just so different from where you are, and they're big, they're huge birds, and that was really interesting to see that different dynamic when it came to birds. Even when I was in Florida, and especially along the coast in Georgia and South Carolina, they have little lizards that are pretty much everywhere. They're about yay big, not super big, but they don't bother anybody. But that was interesting to see because that's something that we do not see from where we are from. But my favorite animal so far has definitely been the manatee. I was so excited to try and find one, or at least see one in the wild, and I managed to do that. I'm going to put a little video box here of the YouTube video that contains that, just as a reminder for everyone. But that was pretty cool. They're much bigger than I thought they would be. They're super gentle, and they're just graceful in the water. They're so cool. That's had to have been my favorite so far. But I have seen alligators, I have seen snakes, I've seen turtles. When I've been on the beaches, I've seen dolphins, I've seen, seagulls, pelicans. In one of my other videos, I found a starfish on the beach. So I have seen quite a bit of wildlife. As far as more inland, I've seen a lot of deer. I've seen a few turkey. But my favorite has definitely been the manatee. Okay, moving along. Question number 3. What was the most interesting thing I saw at NASA? And do I have any pictures of it? That's another really great question. Thank you. NASA and the Kennedy Space Center is where I visited, but it's a big thing for NASA, was very, very cool. I will also put up another little block here of that video where I visited, and it's a very large place, and there's so much to explore. But the two main things are one massive rocket that was built in the 70s, and then they also have a shuttle which was actually used to shuttle people back and forth between the International Space Station. The NASA gift store, the world's largest, space-themed gift shop, was really cool as well. But I definitely have pictures of all those things, so definitely check out that video. But NASA was very cool. That was an unexpected trip. I was not planning on going there, but it all worked out. All right, so this one, number 4, is kind of a loaded question, but a good question. What is the coolest thing I've done, or the coolest thing that I'm going to be doing, the thing that I'm most excited about doing in the future? So, it's a 2-part question. Number 1, I'll answer, what is the coolest thing I've done so far? Man, the things that I find cool, other people might not find cool, but, definitely swimming in that spring was a big step out of my comfort zone, and it was very rewarding. I really enjoyed that. The drive that I had to Key West in the middle of the night, that was really cool to me because it was a full moon that night, and the sky was clear. And as I was driving down to Key West, which is about an hour-and-a-half drive from where I was staying at the time, the moon was reflecting off of the ocean, and it was so beautiful. Another cool thing that I've done, and I just really enjoy it, is just, beach combing and walking the beaches and trying to find things, on the beach. And I found some really cool shells. That has been really exciting for me. I think seeing some historical places have been very cool. I've kind of focused a few things on the civil rights movement, which I believe you're learning about right now, or maybe will be. I can't remember. But that's very interesting to me, to kind of walk in or be in places that were of historical significance. I've always kind of connected to that, so that was very interesting. When I was in Montgomery and Selma and Birmingham. And hopefully that continues as I keep going forward. But those have probably been the coolest things for me so far. As far as in the future, so my favorite movie is called Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? And I have managed to find several of the filming locations in Mississippi. And that is coming up. So once I leave Nashville, I will be headed south through Mississippi along the Natchez Trace Parkway. It's a historical road, and it runs through this town, well, the capital of Mississippi, Jackson. And in and around there are different filming locations for this movie. So I'm going to go find these places, these spots, and try and take pictures of the filming locations and compare them to the pictures that you see in the movie. So I'm really excited about that one. Excuse me. Second would probably be exploring the Gulf Coast in Texas. I think that will be probably my last chance to be by or on a beach for quite a while, or at least until I get to California. And I think I may have an opportunity to camp on the beach there. I haven't quite researched that yet, but hopefully that happens. And then once I get out west, I mean, there are so many different and beautiful national parks in the American Southwest. So I'm just really excited to see some national parks that I haven't seen before. And then ultimately, you know, I think to eventually end up at the Pacific Coast, somewhere outside of San Francisco. I'm really hoping to see the Redwoods National Park, as well as Yosemite. So definitely excited about those two things. Those are really, really big things on my list. Those are the things that I found the coolest, and those are the things that I'm looking forward to the most. Okay, the question that everyone has been waiting for. How do I use the bathroom? Well, it's pretty simple. I use the bathroom just like the rest of you. I've mentioned this in several of my videos, but I have yet to have a problem finding some form of public restroom. Whether I'm in a park, a mall like I'm at today, at a restaurant. I primarily sleep at Cracker Barrels and they have a public restroom. I have yet to have a problem to find a place to use the bathroom. But when that isn't an option, I rough it, and I'm going to keep that as plain as possible. I do not go to the bathroom in my van. I, use a restroom just like everybody else. Hopefully that didn't disappoint you all. So yeah, hopefully that answers some of your questions. I'm sorry I couldn't get to all of them, but as a plug to my subscribers and people who watch my videos, please feel free to leave me any questions in the comments as well. I'm more than happy to answer them. I welcome them. But for Mrs. Brenneman's class, I just want to give a shout out to you. Thank you for following along with my journey. Continue to keep me in your thoughts and prayers as I keep traveling, but keep up with the questions that we might do this again. Hopefully you're not tired of seeing my face in your classroom every day. But thank you. And I will see everybody on the next video. Take care.